Someone tell Usher he can't be touching people like that in 2024. My God. Look, I I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the halftime show. I enjoyed most of the game. But someone's gotta tell Usher, my man, it might be Black History Month, but my man, you can't be doing that to someone's wife. I get it. Look, it's Alicia Keys, it's a performance, all this stuff. But there was a little to it, you know? The first time, like hovering around her and stuff, I get it. Like when it's like that, it's like, okay, cool, they're both performing together. That's awesome. But then, it was a little push off, and then he's back to her, and then singing My Boo, that little hug at the end, and then the smile. Usher knows what he's doing. Usher knows damn well what he's doing. And what's so wild is I think he got engaged, sorry, I think he got married that same night. So obviously, yes, did that mean anything? Well, he was, like caressing Alicia Keys? Probably not. Probably not. But come on, man. You can't be touching people like that in 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Ajay Patel Show. We are on episode 23. Episode 23, and I'm finally back home in Los Angeles after a week, freaking 8 days. 8 days of being in Colombia. Now look, I got to admit something. I I'm pretty good at designing these bachelor party shirts. I'm pretty decent. I got a guy in Dallas. He prints them for, a better cost than what you can get off of Custom Ink. But my dumbass spelt Columbia wrong on these shirts. Now I'm going to get into bachelor parties a little bit later, but I just had to put that out there because, oh my gosh, that was so embarrassing. The day that we wore those shirts, the only thing I could think about was I'm ready for this party to be over. I'm ready for this party to be over. And it's one thing if it's like, oh, you got a group of attractive dudes and, like, hey, we could just lose the shirts. We could just lose the shirts. We're at a pool party. We could have fun, blah, blah, blah. But nope, people keeping those shirts on. And I literally I spelled Columbia wrong both times on the front and back incorrectly. Columbia. When in reality, I don't know if y'all noticed, and even my boy Kunal checked me on the last episode when I published the show notes, and then I didn't even realize that I spelled it wrong on the freaking bachelor party shirts. It's properly spelled Colombia. There were even mugs at the airport. Maybe I can attach a picture onto the video, but there were literally mugs at the airport that said, it's Colombia, not Columbia. And I felt so freaking embarrassed. Now, I'll get into the bachelor party stuff later. But first, I wanted to say, I forgot to say Happy Black History Month last episode. In addition to that, I think this comes out on Valentine's Day. So I wanted to say Happy Valentine's Day. Do you have any plans? Did you get your girl some flowers? Did you get your wife some flowers? Did she get you something? She didn't? It don't matter. It's not about that. Make sure you do something nice for her. Every year I call my dad and I'm just like, hey, look, I know this isn't your biggest thing that you like to get into, but you got to do something. I know there's a big movement, whether it's like a certain type of person or it's a younger, older thing that don't like flowers, but just get the flowers. I'm telling you, no one gets flowers and they get upset. Yes, people might not like them where it's like, oh, they're just going to die anyways. But it's a nice thing to have. It's a nice little just small token. That shit can cost from $13 to probably like $55/$100 if you're getting like that big old bouquet of like roses, dipped, all that stuff. But just get the flowers. Just get the flowers. You don't need to schedule no dinner reservation. You can just make something at home. Order in. On Valentine's Day, just like any other of those big days, it's just gonna be packed everywhere. And if you waited for the last minute to make a reservation, like myself, you're not gonna get it anywhere. Our friends Henali and Unkit here in Los Angeles actually gifted us this Sugar Fina box. As you can see, I've already eaten a couple of the chocolates, and maybe the light might reflect a little poorly on it. But I just wanted to say thank you. They are avid listeners, so hopefully they see this. And we need to get them something. Shit. This year, I've just decided to be more, how do I say this? Less angry about these made up days, whether it's Valentine's Day, Memorial Day, Columbus Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day, people's birthdays. I made it something in my mind that I would just go with the flow. I'm just going to celebrate everything. Obviously, not go, above and beyond. I'm not going to go, you know, put a bunch of rose petals everywhere. But I thought, you know what, this year, I'll try to be a little bit different. I won't complain about Mother's Day, Father's Day, all that stuff. I already missed a handful of birthdays last year. I'm just going to try to see how it goes. Starting with Valentine's Day. Man, hold up. Let me pause this thing. It's 100 degrees in here. Back to Usher and the Super Bowl overall. I landed just in time. I landed at 4 p.m. PST, which is exactly when the game started. As I was going through customs, I saw the game on the TV. I missed maybe a quarter and a half of football. And even then, it was a pretty uneventful first half. I can't remember when that one mistake happened on the punt, but I'm pretty sure it was the second half. But first, let's start with that Usher stuff. I already commented on the him and Alicia Keys thing, but holy shit. When Alicia Keys came out, I that was mesmerizing. That red piano, her who she is, and she has probably one of the most iconic songs ever. And then she's still fine as fuck. And up until that point, that performance was, I will say, a little bumpy. I don't know why these artists always start off stage. I understand they're trying to add to the theatrics of it, of their entering on the football field. You spend some time and then they're on stage and then the rest happens. But that first maybe minute or two was definitely a bit rough. Between me not being able to hear shit that this man was singing, the outfit coordination, I don't know who, like the background dancers and all the, like people being thrown in the air and stuff, just have them wear the same color. It's so distracting having all these different outfits. And then I get it. It's like, it's artsy, but it's distracting. And it's hard to keep your focus on something in particular and enjoy this performance overall when everyone's wearing this different color. Things are happening all over the place. It's just like you cannot comprehend what is actually going on and, enjoy what you're watching. And then that third thing of the intro being a little bumpy is that camera work. Now, look, I know it's no easy feat to be a cameraman. You got a lot of cues. You got to do a lot of walking with basically being blind. And in those first couple minutes, people being thrown around, he had to walk backwards and, film all this stuff happening on in front of him, whether it was Usher, background dancers, people, acrobatics, all that stuff. But it was definitely like, yo, is this too drunk? It definitely started bumpy. And then, holy shit, that man started cooking. As soon as he got to the stage and the hits started coming out, it was like, damn, bro. Damn, damn, damn. You forget he dominated he dominated your entire teen years, basically. When you first start getting into music and you're listening to him on LimeWire, you're seeing him on BET every day. He was the biggest star. Okay, probably not biggest, but he was up there, man. And to come back X amount of years later and do this, it was awesome. You get into the stage part, and now he, brings out Alicia Keys, brings out her, Lil Jon, Ludacris. Who am I forgetting? Dame Dash, was that him? Will I Am. My favorite part, though, and I really wish he did this for a little bit longer, was the rollerblading part. I heard about the rollerblade bit from the Vegas residency, and I knew, okay, obviously, if he has this all coordinated, his other background dancers know what this is, it's going to come out in the Super Bowl. But man, I really wish he did that for longer. That shit was so cool. Like, it's one thing to be smooth on your feet, but it's holy damn another talent to be that smooth while you're rollerblading. I will say there was one thing in my head. I was like, what if this dude falls? What if he falls? Like that, you can't really recover from that. But it was so smooth. I think he pretty much did, oh my God, to that. And then next, it was the rollerblades were off. Lil Jon comes out. Obviously, we all knew that, yeah, would be in the performance. Ludacris comes out, and then they end on that. I enjoyed the performance overall. I thought it could be a little bit better, but also like, how greedy can I get? I've been seeing a lot of reviews online and just, people making fun of like the him caressing Alicia Keys over and over again. And then in addition to that, how people that are probably younger than myself, let's say people younger than 24, probably had no idea what was happening on stage. Because none of those songs that he did came out before 2006. So if you're coming up, right? If you were probably born in the 2000s, you have no idea what any of those songs are. But also, that's exactly what I wanted. You have to think about your, audience base, right? This guy, he's got my era, he's got my mom's era. Why would you not cater to that? Overall, I think I would give the performance an 8, right? And that's like, yeah, sure, a couple of things could have been better, but how greedy can I get? Outside of that intro part being a little bit bumpy, and then maybe like, oh, okay, you could have added 1 or 2 songs, and I get it, you have a certain time allotment, you can't do that. But I thought Justin Bieber was gonna come out. I thought they were gonna do Somebody to Love. But outside of just that one song, that man did all the hits. So then as I was going through these news articles and just, finding some more, random topics for the podcast, I came across top Super Bowl performances since 1993, I think it was. And it went from 36 all the way to 1. And I'm not going to go from all the way to from 36, but I will go through the top 10. And let me go ahead and forewarn you, this list is goddamn ridiculous. It's the stupidest thing you're going to hear. So don't hate on me for this list. I'm just telling you what people are writing, and that's getting published. So if people can write and publish this type of dumb shit, I'm telling you, if you have any desire to do so too, just do it, bro. Now, a lot of these rankings, I read some of the descriptions because I was like, okay, how the hell can you put number 10, Michael Jackson in 1993 at number 10? A lot of the reasoning behind certain performances like this were things like, oh, the broadcast was a little bit rough. You can't really hear him on the microphone. And, like back then, the production wasn't where it could have been. Therefore, that's why we're putting it at this ranking. Number 10, Michael Jackson, 1993. Number 9, Coldplay, Beyonce, Bruno Mars. I really loved that year. I thought it was awesome between Bruno Mars and Beyonce going back and forth, and then Coldplay kind of being that anchor that kept the whole show together. I thought it was a great year. Number 8, the Nip Slip. Janet Jackson, Justin Timberlake, Jessica Simpson, Kid Rock, Nelly, and P. Diddy, 2004. Outside of the Nip Slip, I don't remember this performance too much. I'm going to be honest. Number 7, Diana Ross, 1996. I was 2 years old. I have no idea. I've seen videos of it, and yes, she was amazing. So I'm not going to argue too much with that. Number 6, Katy Perry, Lenny Kravitz, and Missy Elliott in 2015. Now, this was the year that the shark memes came to live forever. When her 2 background dancers were dressed up in shark outfits, and the one on the left was probably zooted, probably off some meds, off some edibles, something. So I have no idea how this made it to number 6. Number 5, Aerosmith, NSYNC, Britney Spears, Mary J. Blige, and Nelly, which happened in 2001. I really don't remember this at all, but man, I would kill to see Britney Spears perform. Number 4, in 2022, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, 50 Cent, Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar, Eminem. It was good. It was good. My favorite part was 50 Cent coming out and the Kendrick Lamar piece. And number 4 of all time, though, number 3, Beyonce and Destiny's Child, which happened in 2013. Yeah, can't really argue with that. Number 2, Madonna, LMFAO, Nicki Minaj, CeeLo Green, which happened in 2012. I don't know why I do not remember this performance at all. And number 1, Prince, which happened in 2007. Now, I can't find a video for this because I did want to watch it, but I don't see how I can really argue with that. It's Prince. To the actual game itself. Yes, I thought the 49ers were going to win it, and I truly, truly do think they were just a couple mistakes away from doing it. The Chiefs did it. The Chiefs did it again. T. Swizzy does it. She joins the team, instant championship. In sports, I really do think it just comes down to who makes less mistakes. The 49ers were doing solid. They were doing solid. Between their defense and a little bit of offense, they had it. They really did have it. And then slowly these mistakes start happening. Starting with that punt return. The Chiefs have it on their own side of the field. They kick the ball. The ball's coming down, and it ends up hitting one of the players' feet. The punt returner tries to recover it, fails. Chiefs get the ball, score. Just like that, they're back in the game. Next thing you know, the second half comes. And then small mistakes just keep piling up. And then next thing you know, you're in overtime. You kick a field goal. Now, look, I don't really know this whole bit about the playoff rules changing. Sorry, not the playoff rules changing. The overtime rules are different in the postseason. I didn't really know about that. I don't think it made a big difference in this game because I always do remember if you get the ball and you score, the other team does get a chance to rebuttal. And they did, and they won. Do I think the game was rigged? Do I think the game was rigged in the Chiefs' favor because of the whole Taylor Swift stuff? Because, there's bigger names and more marketing that can be done on, the Chiefs side? No, I really don't. Like I said, I think it comes down to mistakes and then the Chiefs just being a better team and having experience, which I think makes a world of difference. A world of difference. Patrick Mahomes threw that interception in the first half, and I was like, damn, you don't really see him do that much. A fumble here or there, sure, but you don't really see that happen. And then sure enough, it was the last time that happened. And so I really do think experience makes a world of difference between Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, the defense. It changed the game. And everyone knew after the 49ers hit that field goal, everyone knew with that much time left, Patrick Mahomes was going to score a touchdown. And it looked damn near surgical. It looked surgical. They would throw a pass. They would run up, quickly run another play, take their time, run a play, then quickly run another play. Next thing you know, they were at the goal line. They threw that touchdown. And to me, it seemed a little bit anticlimactic where I forgot the receiver that. And see, this whole point right here, the fact that I just forgot the receiver's name that caught the game-winning touchdown, I truly thought they were going to push for a Travis Kelce touchdown or a Patrick Mahomes touchdown of some sort. Because, bigger names, a little bit more, hoopla behind it. But it doesn't matter. And just like that, it was done. It was done. The Chiefs finally pull off a back-to-back, which hasn't happened in 19 years. And then people, the dynasty conversation does start. But it is true that they are a pretty young team. So do I think that they could probably come back next year and do it again? It'd be hard to put my money against Taylor Swift. And the last little bit to cover out the Super Bowl piece is the commercials, of course. Now, the commercials seemed much more star-studded than I was used to, but one commercial stood out the most where I was like, holy shit. I did not realize, I hope I'm saying this right, Temu was going to be this big. Now, it was like kind of like a thing that people would make fun of, right? Like, oh, you want this Gucci watch or this Versace flip-flop? You can get it from Temu. It'll be like $5 and you might have to wait like 3 months to get it. People were gifting people fake Rolex watches from Temu because they could do it. Now, I remember seeing all the ads on my Instagram, but I thought that was just because I looked it up to see what it was. And then, holy shit, I did not realize they were going to be pushing that much into, like the mainstream space. I think there is going to be much more to come as far as what's happening here. Like, luxury being more affordable because you're getting it directly from, whether it's, I don't know how authentic it is, but you're getting it for the low. So how much will this now dilute the luxury market? Will people keep wearing luxury brands because it's luxury? Or will it, change the culture a little bit because now more and more people will have it? All right, now let's talk a little bit about bachelor parties. I broke this topic down into three little subsections. A common trio that you've heard of: the good, the bad, the ugly. Me myself, I've been to probably 7 or 8 bachelor parties, and I'm coming towards the tail end of it, right? I probably have 2 to 3 more to go, and then after that, that's it. Maybe a friend of mine gets married when I'm in my 40s or something like that, and I go to that, but it's not gonna be the same like it is now, where you have the same type of energy. You can drink, wake up, drink, do it again. Like it won't be the same like that. So let's start with the good. The good, the good, the good. And it can be summarized with one sentence, which is it's just a fun time. It is just a fun time. You get to get away from your responsibilities. You get to see probably a part of the world you haven't seen before, or do things in a place you have seen before, but you didn't do. And also, most of the time, you don't even have to plan anything, right? You just show up, you participate, you're with your bros, you're probably gambling away all your money, you're hanging out, doing dumb shit, jumping in the pool off of the freaking balcony. It's a fun time, right? It's stuff that you wouldn't do with other people. It's stuff you would not do with your coworkers. It's stuff you wouldn't do with your girlfriend's guy friends. Like you wouldn't do it. You get to be almost this truest version of yourself. Well, which is like the animalistic part of yourself, but it is a pretty true part. Most of the times, like if you are cool with the bachelor, then his other friends that you don't know, right? Maybe they came from grad school or him growing up, you will be cool with them because, it just attracts the same thing. That energy attracts the same thing. There have been a handful of times where I've shown up to bachelor parties and it's like, God damn it. Like I wish this fool wasn't friends with this person, because it's just a net negative. And I know that this person was invited because of, this one little relationship. But like I said, we're focusing on the good, and more than likely, you're meeting other dudes that it's just like, damn, this is a good time. This dude's chill as hell. And now the bad. The bad I kind of classified into mainly the shit's just gotten out of hand. It's gotten out of hand with the spending aspect of it, right? And this is with a lot of things. Yes, for marriage, birthday parties. Oh, look at this 30th birthday party. Look at this 21st birthday party. It's gotten out of hand as far as cost goes. On average, I think at these bachelor parties, I have broken 2,000 more than half the time. $2,000 more than half the time, which is crazy, right? Go ask your dad. Go ask your dad what he did for his bachelor party. I guarantee you they probably spent maybe $200. My dad's from London, and they call it, what do they call it? A stag? Stag? Oh, damn, I really hope I'm not getting that wrong, but I don't want to break momentum here. Where all they do is they go out for a night, they all shit on him. You're drinking, you're making fun of the bachelor, right? It's much more of like a roast than what it is now. And yes, I get it. It's the Americanized Western version where, okay, you want to encourage spending. You want to make them do this. You want them to do this. Yes, you got to get bottles. You got to go to the strip club. You got to do this. There's so much that the Western view has pushed and shifted this that has encouraged that spending to reach another level. And it's not sustainable, right? Like you cannot be going to someone's bachelor party, spending $2,000, and let's say that's on the low end, and then you go to their wedding, you're dropping another 2K, and you have multiple friends you're doing this for in a year. Next thing you know, you've probably dropped 20K in bachelor parties and weddings combined. I don't think that's a ridiculous number. Like that is pretty accurate. And so that is what I'm calling the bad part, right? Like the spending part of it has just gotten so out of hand. And every time you hear about someone doing something that they did, right, you're like, damn, I want to do that. But I also want to step it up a little bit. I also want to get these gifts. I want to get this decoration. But the decoration piece has got to stop. As a group of dudes, can we please stop decorating the house? Can we stop getting him all these extra bottle openers and these shot glasses and these sailor hats? Look, I get it. It's for the hoopla. And I just said earlier that I was going to be more into the hoopla. But this is like dumb. It's just getting dumb a little bit. Yes, I think you should spend money on certain things, right? Like, yeah, you should probably get a shirt. That, so for the day you do that group activity and you go out in public, you're easily recognizable. You attract attention. You get to be more involved in the fun. And then also get, like a little thing like a bachelor sash or something that says something dumb on your shirt that you get to kind of flaunt it around, right? You throughout the days, if you're not wearing that one bachelor party shirt that's gotten for the group, you get to wear something that people can easily recognize. Oh, hey, that's that group. Hey, I remember seeing them last night at this place. Because a lot of these bachelor party cities, and remember, I'm just talking about bachelor party cities itself. I don't know much about bachelorettes. Maybe eventually we have a guest on here and they can bring their perspective. But bachelor party cities, it's a small little knit town, right? If you go to Cabo and you're at some resort, you're going to be seeing the same people day after day. Whether you're at the on-site club, whether you go to that street that's pretty much like 6th Street in Cabo, you're going to be seeing the same people. So when you have that sash on you that's easily recognizable, it is a fun thing to have. So spending like that, sure, I get it. But as far as the other decorations go, oh yeah, let's get this backdrop. Let's get some boxers that have the wife's the fiance's picture on it. Can we chill out? Can we chill out? We're already spending 2,000, 3,000 on bottles every night. We're going to this fancy ass dinner to get some cauliflower steak for myself for $1,000. Can we chill out on the other nonsense that we don't really need to be spending on? In this case, from my past week in Colombia, I went 7 days. I went 5 days early. Now, yes, I get it. I went there to just be with a couple of friends and we did the nomad life for a couple of days. But in those days, you're still spending. And it's the bachelor party that invites that previous part. Sorry, that part that comes first. Or maybe on the tail end, right? A lot of times people go on these bachelor parties and then they'll just hang out afterwards for a couple of days. So it is like a gateway spending drug. I don't know yet how much I spent on this trip, and I'm truly, truly, truly avoiding the Splitwise by all means necessary because I know that shit's about to be brutal. But that is what I have as the bad leg of bachelor parties. Now we get into the ugly bit of it. And I'm classifying it as ugly, but I am trying to explain it to y'all the best way possible. I might get buried for this, but I'm going to try. And that is strip clubs and then other girls as part of the bachelor party. Now, remember, I'm just talking about solely bachelor parties. I'm not talking about mixed parties where the bride bride and groom both bring their friends on a certain trip. I have done one of those. It was cool, but for different reasons, right? In this group, it was a lot of the bachelor's friends had their significant others on the other side. So they had to figure out that spending time balance. I could see it where if it's like, okay, like this guy group and this girl group don't even know each other and we're going to still spend it all together, it could be a fun time. But let's get back to the part I'm trying to focus on. And I'm calling ugly, quote unquote, but let's talk about it a bit. Now, there's this big thing around strip clubs. I have been to a handful. There are cities where I've been like, oh, this is a fun time. And there are cities where I've been like, this is freaking dangerous. This looks very, very sketch. The girls here, everyone working here looks like they're part of some crime ring, and we should not be participating in this place. Now, it is a very frowned upon activity, right? Whether it's the bachelor's friends that go and their significant others don't like it, whether it's the bachelor's significant other that doesn't like it. It's a weird conversation to have where it's like, oh, why'd you go? Oh, well, he wanted to. Oh, well, you didn't have to go. What am I supposed to do? Are you supposed to just sit there? And I do leave this as a little open discussion, right? Like I'm down to hearing some more perspective on this. But I'm just sharing what I know as far as it is the conundrum that you run into every single time. Now, I'm not trying to say like I've been like, oh yeah, no, I don't want to go. Sorry, man, you're forcing me. No, I've gone without being any type of reluctant. And I've been in situations where guys have been like, hey, you know what? I don't want to go tonight. I don't want to do this. Okay, cool. Then don't. Like it's really not that forceful as some people think, where it's like, oh, this person forced me to do this. I had to go here. I had to do this. And I can also see where it's like if you're the bachelor and your significant other is like, you know what, I don't want you going to this, and then you run into the pressure of you have to entertain the guys that you are inviting on this trip. Therefore, you're almost more inclined to go. Because bachelor parties, sure, the bachelor gets to be the center of attention. He gets to do all this. He gets to have all these conversations. But at the same time, he is catering to all these guys that he's asking to spend $2,000 to $3,000 to come out to a different city, spend all this time to be with him for his occasion. So I can see the social pressure going both ways, right? Whether it's externally, whether it's internally, however it gets there, it does get there. Now, let me add on another piece to these strip clubs part. If you are a lady, you should definitely go to one. Just go and check it out. And I guarantee you, you'll see things that maybe make certain insecurities go away. Because you have to understand that these strippers are some of the hottest girls in the world. Most of the time. There's a handful that aren't, but we're not talking about them. And you think a group of 8 Indian dudes walking into a place that these girls are like, oh my gosh, I think I'm going to, take his ass. They don't want us. They do not want our ugly, hairy ass, bro. I'm telling you this right now. I'm telling you that if you go into a strip club, you'll realize the hustle that shit is. They will take your money in a heartbeat. Oh yeah, let's get the groom a lap dance. Boom, money gone. That fool comes back. It's over. And am I breaking a lot of guy code talking about this shit? I'm just trying to surf the waters a little bit here. I'm not trying to throw anyone under the bus or anything like that. So just bear with me, if you will. So the strip club piece is a big peer pressure kind of thing. In addition to that, why do you guys want to go even in the first place? Dude, it's just it's something that has been sold to us. The same reason that people want engagement rings and they want this big wedding and they want this gender reveal party is the same reason people go to strip clubs for their bachelor parties. Look at the movie, what's it called? The Hangover. Hangover 1, 2, 3. It's all about the most epic bachelor party you could ever see. You think guys don't see that and try to simulate that in their own real life? It's the same way that like love movies work. Oh my gosh, that guy's so romantic. I hope to find that in my life. It is inspiration that is pushed from the Western world. Now let's get into the piece that I feel the most passionate about, which is you gotta have females at the bottle service. It's look, I've never been to a bottle service where it's just been 8 dudes, 8 to 12 dudes, and it's been a fun time. It is not fun leaning over into a dude's ear every 5 minutes and keep having this same conversation with him. It's not fun watching a group of 8 dudes pull out their phone and check their email and open their weather app over and over again. At some point, it's got to be like, what the hell did we do this for? We are here to party, right? If you are single and you are on a bachelor party, go talk to some girls, please. Go talk to some girls and bring them in. Because the last thing I want to do is keep on talking to y'all. I don't want to talk to these girls either, but at least we look better as a group of dudes that we're not just circle jerking each other here for 2 hours. We're spending $1,500 to $3,000. At least make this look like we're cool. It's all about it's halfway about the look, halfway about the it's half about the look, half about just having a fun time. We went to a bottle service on Friday night. No, I think Thursday night. And we got this little table. They put this bottle in a bucket that was probably not the most aesthetic. And we were just sitting there in this hot ass club. Across from us, another group of about 30 Indian dudes walk in. Now, this is the last thing you ever want. As an Indian guy, the last thing you ever want at a bottle service is for another group of Indian dudes to be placed right next to y'all. It's the last thing you ever want. Because then it's this weird competition. It's this weird competition that makes no sense to me. Oh, they got that bottle? We got to get this bottle. Oh, they got that. Oh, we got to do this. Oh, they're dancing on the couch. We got to do. Oh, they're talking to X amount of girls. Yo, come on, come on, come on. We got to go. It's this weird little race that starts happening. And yes, I'm focusing on, Indian versus Indian, but it is with just any group of dudes. Now, look, I'm not saying that, there's not a lot of sliminess that happens at somebody's bachelor parties. I'm not denying that. I understand it is very well known, all that stuff. I'm just trying to tell you things that will put you at peace based on my experience. That if you have girls in this section, if you see two girls just having a drink at the bar and you're like, hey, would you guys like to? There's no way we go through $1,500 worth of alcohol. Would you like to just come and hang out with us? No one's going to try anything with you, all that stuff. We just want girls in our section to make it much more aesthetic. And then it just looks better overall. And then if you have, let's say, two friends that are there that are girls, it attracts more girl attention. Even over here when we did it in Los Angeles for Sim's bachelor party. Now I'm not going to drop too many names because I didn't ask them for the consent, anything like that. But also nothing slimy happened. We got to the we got to the day club, and I shortly realized, oh shit, I brought us to the pool party in West Hollywood. And if you don't know about West Hollywood, it is where all the gay people go to party. It is the gayborhood of Los Angeles. So I literally just brought this bachelor party to a gay club. But a couple hours in, right? You get the punch bowl, you get some attention. Oh my gosh, what you guys get there? You start bringing some people in, bringing people out. And sometimes, half the times, the girl brings her significant other, the dude. And then you're talking to a dude that you haven't been talking to for the last X amount of days. Now, look, I get the fear of girls where it's like, oh, hell no, that dude's just trying to with me. It's sometimes not like that. If you get the creepiness, like a little bit Usher vibe, you walk away. But no one wants to be part of this bottle service where it's just nothing but dudes. I'm sorry, it's just so true. You don't want to be in this group where it's like, hey, we could have just been at home doing this. We could have just been at home hanging out with each other, kicking it, gambling. We could have, gone to this show, whatever. Like, why are we at this club with this loud ass music? We're sweating our asses off. I got to lean in to talk to you. No one's doing anything. Why are we here? Having girls in this section, as slimy as you may think of it as it is, it's truly just like watching a sunset. Like watching a sunset. You're not doing anything. You're just sitting there and you're just part of it. And it is much more fun. Damn, I'm probably going to get killed for this shit. I'm probably going to get absolutely murdered for this. But I guess this is the type of content I needed, huh? 23 episodes in, I finally say some stuff that'll probably get me killed. The last little tidbit I have before I wrap this up for you guys today is people got to start policing their kids, man. People, like, seriously. Are you allowed to tell a kid to stop kicking your seat? Or are you supposed to tell the parent? Like, what's that age? Like if you see a 3-year-old kicking or a 5-year-old kicking your seat, who are you supposed to say something to? The flight attendant, the parent, the kid? What are you supposed to do? What is the proper protocol? I was on my flight back from Panama City to Los Angeles because I had to connect there, a 6.5-hour flight. To my right, who had the window seat, a young girl, 3 years old, and then in the middle seat, her mother, aisle seat, myself. This little girl was the most well-behaved child I have seen in a while. And the mom, nice as hell. She apologized because she made me get up over and over again because they had to pee. And then at the end of the flight, she had a panic attack. Look, I don't know. She had it just crept up when we were landing and that air pressure. And then she started feeling her hands tingle. And then she was calling for a flight attendant. That part was a bit wild. But back to policing your kids is a row behind me. 2 old folks, probably in their 60s or something. And then the row behind them was hell. 5 boys and a mom and dad. And I could see to my corner left this kid kicking this lady's seat that was trying to sleep the entire flight. And the lady kept trying to turn around and she would just look at me like, what am I supposed to do? And I just started smiling because I was like, I don't know. I truly do not know. If you're the parent, it's on you to tell that evil little mother to stop kicking seats, to just chill out, sit there. Now, look, I'm not trying to shit on people that are traveling with kids, but you just got to police them. If you're trying to take care of your baby that's crying over and over again, it's fine. It happens. You're not, I get it. People feel like they're at an inconvenience. Oh, I paid extra for this seat. I shouldn't have to. Bro, shut up. People's kids are going to cry. It happens. People are overwhelmed with this shit. They don't really know where their seat is. They're juggling a car seat, a stroller, their baby backpack, their luggage. And if they're doing it by themselves, just help them. Just shut the fuck up and help them, bro. But I'm talking about these kids that are maybe 4 to 8, 4 to 9. I don't know what age it cuts off at. Maybe 4 to 7. These evil little dudes, you gotta police them, man. This man kept on kicking this lady's seat. The row behind them, this man was sprawled out across the seats, and poor guy that was not the dad was on the window seat. They're playing video games with the volume all the way up. You can hear the shooting. You can hear the random game sounds. 5 rows up, 10 rows back. Like, what are you doing, bro? And then what's so wild is that I think the lady next to me, that her seat was getting kicked, she asked the flight attendant to do something. Flight attendant comes, tells the dad switches with the kid. And that's when you instantly see why the kid's acting like that. Because it's not the kid's fault, right? The kid is just being the kid. He's kicking his legs out because he's bored as hell. He's hopped up on all this sugar. He's playing his video game. He's not aware of all this social construct that you get to learn as you get older. That stuff comes from the parent. And so then as soon as I saw the dad, I understood. Oh, they're learning all this stuff from this piece of shit. They're learning all this, like, oh, whatever, this playing his mind behavior from this dude. And the mom, look, I don't even know where she was. I saw her struggling a bit, but she wasn't saying anything either. But as far as when I saw this dude, this man to my back left, he kicked his legs out, did not have his shoes on. He was reading a book. He was just snacking on some chips. Every time he get up, he pulled the lady's seat back, so she was still getting aggravated. And you just see their certain demeanor, right? How they're dressed, how they smell, how they're acting. And so you see where that behavior kind of stems from, right? You see the dad and then you see what's happening with the kids. So it's hard to get mad at the kids. At the end of the flight, like I was saying about that lady that had a panic attack, it got pretty wild. This lady starts freaking out, starts saying, like she's feeling her hands tingle. She starts telling people to take care of her kid. And so then luckily the lady in front of me starts being like, okay, you know what? Like I was also trying to be like, hey, just take deep breaths. Do you want some water? Do you want some Advil? Do you want a piece of gum to relieve the pressure? Like, they say to chew a piece of gum. What can I do to help you here? The plane is taxiing. I cannot stand up and do anything. So what can I do in my physical power right here to help? And there wasn't much. Luckily, the lady in front of me starts doing a better job. She starts saying it in Spanish. She's breathe in, breathe out, doing a good job. And then I'm, upper back, just being like, okay, you know what? You're all right. You're all right. You're all right. And then you want to get her off the plane, right? You want to get her off this freaking death tube. And sure enough, these 5 little boys were just in the aisle blocking the entire way. That's when I finally had to police those bad little boys myself. And I felt a little bad, and I felt a lot like my dad, where I was just like, there's one thing I know about my dad is that he cannot stand bad behavior like that. Whether you're his kid or anyone else's kid, if you're acting a fool, he will say something to you. He won't wait for the parent to come do something. He will say, hey, sit down. Get the hell out of the way. And so this is instantly where I felt like my dad, where I got up because I was like, let's get this lady off this plane. And these 5 little boys blocking the aisle, I literally had to pick one up and put him on the seat because I was like, hey, bro, you just in the way right now. We cleared the way, got the lady off the plane. I felt a little bad because I didn't check on her afterwards. But all of that to say, police your goddamn kids. Lastly, I am in Las Vegas this week. I'm going for a conference Isha found, which was around like fabric and kind of the fashion industry space itself. I think it's called Magic at Sourcing, I think it is. I can never freaking memorize the name or how it is exactly pronounced, but Vegas is a fun time. So I obviously was down for that. I'm going to Vegas this week. Hopefully, I have some stories for you guys when I come back. If you have any suggestions, please, of course, reach out. If you felt a certain way about the bachelor party bit, please forgive me. I'm obviously not here to hurt anyone's feelings. I'm just trying to entertain. With that all being said, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, share, tell a friend, drop a dislike if you must. And I'll see you guys next week. And bye.